Here are the myths behind our favorite sights in the sky.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Wacky Universe. I'm your host, Jay. Since the beginning, humans have been storytellers. We've even made up stories to explain the stars, the moon, and everything in between. Here are the myths behind our favorite sights in the night sky. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of all our upcoming videos. And if you end up enjoying this one, hit the like button before you go. 5. The sun. As one of the easiest to find and most recognizable features of the sky, the sun, unsurprisingly, has many stories and myths about its origin across many cultures. The Aztec people in central Mexico knew the sun as the god Tonatiuh. His duty was to travel across the sky each day and fight against the forces of darkness. However, the Aztecs believed he was strengthened by human sacrifice, and the survival of humankind relied upon offering him human hearts. Talk about utilitarianism.
The Japanese Shinto believed that the sun was not a god, but a goddess named Amaterasu. She's the most important Shinto deity, and she ruled over all kami, or spirits, in the Shinto religion. She was also the ancestor for all emperors in Japan and gave them the divine right to rule. In one myth, she locked herself away in a cave, and the world descended into darkness, allowing evil spirits to riot over the earth. The other gods hatched a plan to distract her with her own radiant reflection. In the end, Amaterasu was forbidden from ever locking herself away again, and the world was once more bathed in sunlight.
4. The moon.
As with the sun, there are many stories behind the moon's origin. However, one little-known myth is that of the indigenous Inuit people of Alaska, Greenland, and the Arctic.
To them, Anigan was the god of the moon, and he and his sister Melina, the sun goddess, once lived together in harmony. But just as every other pair of siblings do, they got into an argument. Melina ran off in her anger, and Anigan chased after her, but whether to apologize or restart the argument is up for debate.
Anigan never stopped running, and he became thinner and thinner as he forgot to eat. This explains the waning of the moon. When the moon was gone entirely from the sky, Anigan had left to eat and be ready to begin his chase again. Only during the eclipse does he succeed.
3. Hercules. One of the largest of the 88 constellations is Hercules. Hercules' story, however, is not how Disney paints it out to be. As the illegitimate demigod son of Zeus and the mortal Alcmene, he had incredible strength, stamina, and the wrath of his stepmother Hera, spurned wife of Zeus.
He was most well known for being cursed by Hera and performing the 12 impossible labors, which included bringing back Cerberus, the guardian dog of the underworld. After the labors were complete, his wife accidentally poisoned him, and his mortal half died. His immortal half was brought to Mount Olympus, where his father Zeus placed him among the stars.
2. Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights, are the green and red lights seen dancing across the night skies in the north. In Finland, the aurorae were known as foxfires, coming from the belief that they were created by mythical fire foxes, the Tulikettu. As these foxes ran across the sky, their tails would graze the mountaintops fast enough to spark their fur and set the sky aflame.
To many of the people of southern Europe, however, the lights weren't a sign of nature's beauty, but a herald of bad fortune. The lights seen so far in the south were not the common green of the north, but instead a startling red, and were thus symbols of coming bloodshed and hardship.
A red sky in particular was seen in Britain just weeks before the French Revolution. While this would seem to be a good thing for the France antagonizing Isle, for many it would be seen as a symbol of the coming fall of monarchical power around the world. Before we get to our last myth, I want to know what your favorite sight in the night sky is. I love the moon because of its ever-changing appearance. And it has connections to werewolves, which is always a plus. Share your thoughts with me in the comments below. 1. The Big Dipper. One of the most famous constellations is, of course, the Big Dipper. To the Greeks, it was known as Ursa Major, the Great Bear, and it represented the nymph Callisto. After an affair with Zeus and giving birth to Arcas, she was turned into a bear by Hera. When Callisto approached her son Arcas as a bear, he raised his spear to defend himself.
Callisto and Arcas were saved from tragedy by Zeus. He had both carried into the heavens and turned into the constellations Ursa Major and Minor, the great and smaller bears. As an act of divine mercy, the mother and son could be freed from their suffering and live together in the night sky. Interestingly, this isn't the only tale in which the Big Dipper represents a bear. In some Native American cultures, like the Iroquois and the Mi'kmaq peoples, the constellation's bowl is a large bear, while the stars the pans handle are the hunters chasing it across the sky. When the bear is finally caught by its pursuers, the tree's leaves become red with blood, and the constellation disappears. Then, in the spring, the stars return and the hunt begins anew.